What's up guys, Blake here from guidetovaping.com, and today I'm back at you again with yet another review. And this time I'm going to be reviewing the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now, this Reuleaux is very popular right now. If you haven't heard of it, you've probably been living under a rock. It has a unique design where it allows you to insert three 18650 batteries. It has a comfortable feel to it. It allows you to reach up to 200 watts. And not to mention, it uses the DNA200 chipset. And with the DNA200 chipset, what does that actually mean? That means that this device is firmware upgradable. It has eScribe that you can play around with. And to be quite honest with you, the DNA200 has the most features in any device that's available right now. With just the eScribe software alone, you'll get your money's worth with the DNA200 chip. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive down and take a closer look at the Reuleaux DNA200. Alright guys, so what you're looking at right here is the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200 packaging. Now obviously we got the Wismec name here at the top. Then you have a outline of the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200 device. And then towards the bottom, we have the Reuleaux logo. It says Reuleaux 200 watts and then says powered by Evolve DNA200. On one side, we have the Reuleaux logo again. It says Reuleaux 200 watt powered by Evolve DNA200 once again. And then on the opposite side, it looks just the same. The bottom of this box has the Wismec name, while the top has the Wismec URL. And then on the back, it says Reuleaux here at the top. Then you have somewhat of an introduction from Wismec. There's a caution saying keep out of reach of children. And then it says standard configuration, which is the contents in this box. You can expect the Reuleaux body, the back cover, and a USB cable. Now let's open up this box. Now as you can see, we have the Reuleaux DNA200 here. Let's pull that out. Pull up this foam piece. And then we have a small caution that is useless. And then we have the Reuleaux quick guide, which is very, very useful. So let me tell you something about this quick guide. This is one of those guides that you don't want to throw away. You want to actually look over it and understand this device before you use it. This will give you some of the basic functionality of this device and show you how to operate it. And the last thing that's in this box is a USB cable. Now onto the Reuleaux DNA200 device. You may notice that my Reuleaux looks quite a bit different from everyone else's. And that's because I actually hydro dipped the front plate and the back battery cover. Now normally this front plate and the back battery cover will have a gunmetal color. However, I enjoyed this device so much and used it so much that I wanted to actually customize it to my personal taste. That being said, I gave it this burl wood look, and I think it looks quite classy. So first things first, guys, we have the Reuleaux logo here at the top. You have a 510 connection, which is spring loaded. The Reuleaux also has a recessed control face here. And on that control face, you have the power button here, which is also the fire button, your OLED screen here, your two adjustment buttons here, and then your micro USB port. You have ventilation on each side of this device, 3 holes here and 3 holes here. Now on the bottom of the Reuleaux, you also have more ventilation, plenty of holes here, 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 and here. You once again have the Reuleaux logo and the Reuleaux name, and it also says manufactured by Wismec. Now this back part here is actually the magnetic battery cover. So once you pull that off, you will expose the battery compartment. Now, as you already may know, the Reuleaux holds 3 18650 batteries. So you have one battery here, here, and one here in the front. All right, so now let's put in some 18650 batteries. Throw on our cover. And then there you go. All right, so before we continue, I want to give a little bit of information about this device so you kind of know what we're working with here. Now, you probably are already aware that this device allows you to reach up to 200 watts. When using Kanthal or in wattage mode, you can fire down to 0.1 ohms, or if you're using the temperature control function, you can fire down to 0.08 ohms. Moreover, when you're in temperature control, you can range from 200 degrees all the way up to 600 degrees. Now, there are plenty of features with this device right here, but the main one that you need to understand is that the DNA200 gives an experience like no other. And with the addition of the eScribe software that is used with this device, it allows you to change things with the Reuleaux that basically lets you customize your experience with this device. And just to give you an example of that, I just stuck the batteries in this device. I haven't pressed the fire button yet. So what I did, when you have a DNA200 device, once you press the fire button, you wake it for the first time, you'll get a welcome screen. Now, not only did I change my welcome screen in the eScribe software, but I also added a second one, which it allows you to do. As you see, it says fuck cigarettes, and then it says Walking Dead. And then it takes me to my main screen. So those are the little things that you can customize to truly make this device your own. Now, I'm not going to really go over everything that you can do in the eScribe software, and I'm not going to list every single feature that this device has, because it's basically like beating a dead horse with the DNA200. The DNA200 chip has been out a while. It's been very popular, and most of you know what the DNA200 chip is capable of. However, if you're watching this review, you're probably asking yourself, should I get the Reuleaux RX200 or should I get the Reuleaux DNA200? So we're going to actually skip the rest of this and go ahead and just jump straight to talking about it. Alright guys, so now that you've seen the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200 up close, now it's time to talk about it and see how well it actually performs. Now, like I've mentioned earlier, you've probably already heard about the Reuleaux DNA200. In fact, I'm about 90% sure that you've heard of this device and you've seen it. And I'm also about 90% sure that you're contemplating on what you should get out of the RX200, which is a Wismec Reuleaux also, or the DNA200, which is a Reuleaux. These devices are basically the exact same except for the chipset. They both provide 200 watts. One provides the eScribe software and one doesn't. So the question is, what's so great about the DNA200 Reuleaux? And let me be the first to tell you, the DNA200 chip will provide an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. From the start of Evolve making chipsets, it's always provided like this consistent vape that you get that you won't experience this with any other device out there. Now, the other thing is that the screen is a little bit different from the RX200. The screen on the DNA200 is much more brighter. It's a bit more advanced, easier to read, and you can also customize the screen in the eScribe software. Now, I've owned the RX200 and I also own the DNA200, obviously. And out of them both, of course, I prefer the DNA200 version. And even for the extra amount of money, I have no problem paying what it costs to get this DNA200 device. Now that I've been put onto the DNA200 chip, I know the type of experience that I'm going to get with it, and I know the performance that it can provide. And my job today here is, if you're looking to get either the RX200 or the DNA200, and if you actually have the money to do so, I would recommend the DNA200 version. If you're on a budget, obviously you need to go with the RX200. I skipped a lot of the features with this device because it's so advanced and there's so many of them. The best thing to do is when you purchase this device, if you purchase this device, play around with the eScribe software, learn how to use it, learn how to change the screen. There's a lot of different settings that you can really make this device your own. So other than that, guys, let's go ahead and see how well the Reuleaux DNA200 performs. Currently, I'm rocking the Mini Velocity. I have dual Kanthal coils. They're at 0.43 ohms. I'm running them at about 50 watts, and I'm vaping on Nectar Sour Apple, which is, I believe, is about 70% VG. So here we go. I'm going to turn up the wattage a bit. Let's go to about, I'd say, 60 watts. And here we go with a couple more. And so that's about it for the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200. Now guys, if you want to pick up the Reuleaux DNA200, you can go to vaporauthority.com. And as always, if you like this video, make sure you leave me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel. That's about all I got for you guys. Until next time, vape on.